Today's topic is the Sova guide, tips and tricks, abilities, and strategy. Watch the full video to know everything, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Valorant has fast become one of the most exciting esports games. It is an arena shooter, but with distinct agents to play as. Each offers different abilities and options for you. Deciding which agent to play as is a major part of mastering the game. Each is suited to a different type of player. Sova is the agent best suited for gathering intel. This is a support role, but one that is pretty unique in the game. You're not going to be healing, but peeking and gathering information. On top of this, Sova's arrows and abilities are also going to reward accuracy in the game. Sova's abilities are pretty unique compared to all of the fraggers available in Valorant. Mastering the arrows is going to be important for you. With the use of drones and decent aim, you can achieve all sorts of things with Sova. This is all you need to know about mastering Sova in Valorant. Recon Bolt. Recon Bolt is Sova's default ability. This is one that you can use whenever it charges back up. If you fire off a Recon Bolt as soon as you start the game, you'll be able to get 3 of these set off in a single round. The Recon Bolt activates when it collides with something, then it reveals the location of nearby enemies. This is what you need to know about it. It can be destroyed by enemies. Since it is a free ability from Sova and fairly hard to hit, you don't need to worry too much about this though. Holding down fire extends the projectile arc. Valorant also has high skyboxes. Collectively, this means you can fire off a Recon Bolt to the opposite end of the map if you spend enough time practicing its curve. Learning the curve is important to make the most out of the first bolt of the game. You can use the right mouse button to access some extra options. You can add an extra bounces to the projectile. When used in the right way, you can even use this to bounce the arrow around corners. This is one of the benefits of Sova's abilities all being quite similar. The bolts need a line of sight to see enemies. This limits it, but this is a free ability so you can't expect too much. Owl Drone. Owl Drone costs 300 credits, and it can only be bought once. It is another recon-focused ability. This is a drone that you can take control of. While piloting it, you can shoot out a dart. This dart marks an enemy player and reveals their location. This one has a few different uses. This is what you need to know. This drone's main use is pure recon. However, the advantage comes in marking a player rather than just finding them. Marking means you don't have to call out where they are. If you feel like calling out where players are though, pay attention when piloting. The drone is harder to hit than a player. You can use it to explore a little and gather more intel. The drone can venture into and peek into places that a player can't. This is great for bad situations. You can use it to gain intel when you're pushed into a corner as Sova. It might be worthwhile holding onto it for one of these rounds. Shock Bolt. Shock Bolt can be used twice in a round and costs 100 credits. It works the same as the standard Recon Bolt. However, the bolt you fire this time is explosive. As with the other bolt, you can use the buttons to change the properties of the projectile. This is what you need to know. The curving and aiming elements of this are the same as the Recon Bolt. Essentially, once you've mastered aiming and using one, you've got both down. The Shock Bolt can function like a frag if you need it to. Send it around a corner to clear out players. The damage and radius of the shock are actually pretty large. You can clear an area by bouncing it around the wall. The shock bolts can be used as bolt projectiles, but this all comes down to mastering the positioning of where and when to fire. This is more technical than just using them in a closer range, but it can have rewards. This one isn't too complicated. It is one of your few moves on hand that isn't just for recon. Try to avoid throwing it out whenever you're panicked. However, as your only offensive move is Sova, this is a possible outcome. Hunter's Fury. This one is Sova's ult. It gives you 3 shots that can blast like a beam across the whole map. The downside is that the blast radius is relatively small. Players can dodge it fairly often. This is what you need to know. This one comes down to choosing the right spot. There are choke points on the map that you can nail players with. If one of these choke points isn't available, firing it into chaos might be the best bet. This isn't the best ults out there. Most are a lot easier to handle. Like the other arrows, this is going to come down to where you fire it off. This is going to take a lot of practice to learn the good spots, so you'll have to put the time into playing as Sova. Sova is a kind of difficult agent. However, it can be rewarding. If you're willing to spend the time really learning the trajectories of the arrows for Sova, then he can be a rewarding choice. Our other Valorant guides can help you get the most out of the game's core mechanics, no matter which agent you play. Subscribe to our channel for more updates. Don't miss any updates as we do all the research and updating for you. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to stay up to date on new settings, new players, and new guides.